Good afternoon, and thank you for listening again today. As of 2 p.m. today, there have been 5,283 positive cases of COVID-19 in Missouri, including 165 deaths. Over 2,000 Missourians have been tested at this time. Yesterday, I announced that the Stay Home Missouri order is extended through May the 3rd. We are seeing signs in the data that Missouri is beginning to slow the course of COVID-19. We are seeing improvements across the state. If good social distancing continues, we will reopen the economy and get Missouri back to work. Between now and May the 4th, we will continue to monitor the situation and work with Missouri hospitals, healthcare providers, public health experts, business leaders, and state departments to develop a data-driven plan. We also will be reaching out to the business community, as well as local and city government, to put plans in place for May the 4th and begin the first phase of reopening Missouri. To recap from yesterday, our Show Me Strong recovery plan will have two initial phases, which are intended to protect those most at risk of exposure to COVID-19 and return Missouri to a new normal. First, protect healthcare workers, first responders, and other direct care workers so that our most vulnerable citizens have access to the care they need. Second, strategically reopen businesses supported by testing data and insights and from employers and employees. Additionally, our Show Me Strong recovery plan rests on four essential pillars. Rapidly expand testing capacity. Expand our reserves of PPE. Continue to monitor and, if necessary, expand hospital and healthcare system capacity. Improve our ability to predict potential outbreaks using Missouri's public health data. This approach combines a number of sources on Missouri-specific data and will allow us to evaluate the situation locally. As we continue to develop this plan and move into the recovery phase of COVID-19, the Missouri Department of Economic Development will play a major role. The department has already been active throughout our COVID-19 response, and we're extremely grateful for their efforts to assist Missouri businesses and workers as much as possible during these challenging times. Today, Director Dixon is here with us today, and he's going to share some ideas and some information on the economic recovery plan that's going to be presented before the state. Director?
Thank you, Governor. And thank you for showing the path forward towards economic recovery. You know, extending the stay-at-home order was definitely the right thing to do, and the plan that you announced yesterday allows us to work towards that reopening. The plan is realistic, it's deliberate, it's data-driven, and it prioritizes the healthcare foundations that we need to return to economic activity in our state. Missouri is strong, and we will get through this. The governor's framework allows for a gradual reopening, leading to broader economic recovery. Right now, we are in that immediate response phase, and businesses and citizens across our state are availing themselves of the available resources at the federal and state level. But soon, as the governor mentioned, we'll be moving into that gradual reopening phase, driven by the healthcare data, driven by the healthcare system, as well as the other strategies that the governor laid out. These are ways that allow our economy to reopen without jeopardizing our healthcare objectives. Beyond that, though, we need to focus on returning to the levels that we were before, as well as building our economy stronger than it was even then. Our economic recovery plans will focus on the diversity of our state. It will focus on our people, focus on our businesses, focus on our communities, focus on our infrastructure, among many other components of our economic health. I'll tell you, it's going to ebb and flow. It won't be a light switch turning back everything on at once, but it is going to be based on sound healthcare-driven strategies that lead to economic growth and economic development. Our economy was strong before this, and we will be strong again. And I thank the governor for creating that pathway for us to move forward. I also wanted to highlight a couple of, frankly, positive things that have been happening in our state right now, despite the ongoing pandemic, specifically related to the assistance that our businesses have received from the federal government. You know, early on in this crisis, Governor Parson ensured that the entire state of Missouri would be eligible for small business administration programs, and that is now paying off. As a result of that, 46,000 Missouri small businesses and nonprofit organizations have been approved for the SBA's Paycheck Protection Program. We actually rank number 10 in the entire country for the number of businesses that have been approved. All told, these businesses were approved for more than $7.5 billion in our state. That puts us at number 15 of all states in the country for the total number of dollars approved to assist Missouri businesses. This program, of course, provides a forgivable loan designed for small businesses to help keep their workers on the payroll. Now, yesterday, the SBA announced that there is no additional funding available, having subscribed the full $350 billion across the country. But it shows the tremendous need, and thanks to the governor's early action on this, again, 46,000 some odd Missouri businesses and nonprofits were able to get some help. But I also want to thank Missouri's bankers. It was their hard work. I know many of them were working around the clock, long nights, long weekend hours to get these loans processed. And on behalf of, again, 46,000 Missouri businesses and their employees, we thank you. There are also some job opportunities that are available right now in a variety of businesses across the state, both in the healthcare field as well as in other industries that are critical to the response effort. And I would encourage anybody that is interested in taking a job in one of those industries to please look at our website at MissouriOneStart.com. Missouri One Start, all of those words are spelled out, .com, where you can learn more about those jobs and apply for them directly. Finally, I wanted to highlight a key infrastructure need that our state has. And as the challenges that we face today demonstrate probably more so than ever before the importance of reliable and fast internet access for our entire state. It's important to so many things in our life today. It was important before this started, and it's important tomorrow as well. But I'm proud that today we were able to announce more than $3 million in state broadband grant funding to expand internet service to 4,000 Missouri businesses, farms, and homes across our state. And I want to thank the broadband and telecom companies who are offering their services, discounts, waivers, fees, and other assistance to Missourians during the course of this pandemic. You can find out more about those resources on the state's COVID-19 resource page. And finally, as the governor mentioned, so many Missouri businesses have stepped up to the challenge right now to help produce and source that so important PPE medical equipment, and we thank them for the role that they're playing in our response effort. Missouri businesses are the arsenal in this war, and we need them now more than ever. I again want to thank the private sector. I want to provide some encouragement to Missouri communities and citizens that we are moving into the gradual reopening phase here, and we look forward to working together with you and all of our communities to build Missouri strong again. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Dixon. It's very gracious of you to give me credit for what we were able to do early on, but the credit goes to a lot of people that work here at the governor's office. I have some incredible people that work here, some incredible directors every day that do their job, and to be surrounded with those kind of people every day at a crisis situation is something all Missouri should be proud of. We got dedicated people here, and I just appreciate all the hard work they've been doing for the last 45 days here in the state of Missouri. Director Carson's also with us today. I want her to give us a little update on PPE. Sandy?
Thank you, Governor, and I want to say a special thank you to Director Dixon and to those Missouri businesses who've stepped up to assist with the PPE. We know that PPE is the greatest need that we have for our first responders and especially those on the front lines, and we want to keep them safe as they continue to provide care for Missourians. In the last couple of days, our state warehouse has received more than 250,000 N95 respirator masks, and distribution of those masks continues today. The team, which is comprised of SEMA, MoDOT, Department of Health and Senior Services, as well as the Division of Fire Safety, continue to put PPE out as fast as we can. Later today, we expect to receive 12 more pallets of face shields and 8 pallets of medical gowns, and we will work to get that into the hands of those that need it most as quick as we can. We're always expediting the delivery of PPE because it protects our firefighters, our law enforcement officers, EMS, healthcare providers, and all of those who are risking their own safety to protect others. That remains our number one concern. Now I'd like to update you on a situation that I first announced on Monday, the state's recall of 48,000 KN95 masks that did not meet the standards designed to protect our first responders and medical professionals. As I said on Wednesday, I'm limited in what I can say due to potential litigation. But I do want to confirm, for some of you who have been asking questions, some of these answers that I can give. The state ordered and purchased KN95 respirators from a total of 3 vendors. In the first case, the state ordered a total of 360,000 KN95 masks at a total price of $1.1 million. The state received 88,630 of those masks, and the vendor agreed to refund the full amount and picked up those items unused from the warehouse today. In the second case, the state ordered a total of 5 million N95 respirator masks at a total price of more than $16.5 million. The state paid 50% of that total in advance. That was more than $8.25 million. The vendor had not delivered any of those masks and agreed to cancel the order and return the full advance payment of over $8.25 million to the state, which was accomplished on Wednesday. In the third case, the state ordered over 3.9 million KN95 respirator masks at a total price of more than $16.5 million. The state paid 50% of that total in advance. That was more than $8.25 million. In this case, the state received almost 101,000 of those masks, and the vendor has declined to refund the $8.25 million that was advanced at this time. As I discussed, we will do everything in our power to recoup the money which went towards the masks that were not up to the standards and did not provide the protection our first responders and medical professionals deserve for the high-risk work they are performing. We will continue our efforts to get them quality PPE. I also have an update on the Missouri National Guard's efforts. There are now about 375 Missouri National Guard soldiers and airmen assisting our state and federal partners in the COVID-19 response. Guard members are staffing the alternate healthcare site in Florissant. They're continuing to assess other potential alternate care sites across the state. They're providing rush transportation of PPE when necessary, and they will be assisting the St. Louis County coroner, if necessary, at a temporary morgue facility that the county has established. All of those are assisted by members of the DMAT and DMORT teams. Capitol Police are preparing for the return of legislators to the Capitol. They're ensuring there's sufficient PPE for all their officers. They're making sure all entrances will be regularly cleaned and disinfected. They're making sure 6-foot spacing markers at Capitol entrances are clear and in place. And they're also making sure visitors to the Capitol without badges will be going to the south carriage entrance. And across our state, we have troopers working the highways every day, making sure Missourians are safe. And what our troopers are seeing is an example of what we see every day, but they're seeing more dangerous driving and higher speeds. And we would ask that everyone slow down and be safe on our roadways. Our entire DPS team is working to help protect Missourians and support our first responders and medical professionals. We'll keep doing that with professionalism and enthusiasm for as long as it takes. We thank all those who are serving, and we wish you much health and safety as you continue your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Carson. I also want to say thank you for catching that, making sure we recalled those masks to make sure people were safe out there, you and your department for catching that and getting that recall on it. And I assure you, we've talked to the Attorney General's office, and we're going to be, I'm encouraging him to put this as a top priority for the people of the state of Missouri on that. So thank you again for what you're doing on that. Kelly, let's go to questions.
All right, thank you, Governor. The first question is from Joe Gamm, Jefferson City News Tribune. Governor, to open the state back up for business, the state is going to have to greatly expand testing. Yet the University of Missouri Healthcare announced today that it is scaling back its drive-through testing site. Are we not going to need thousands more tests daily, which expanded capacity to conduct the tests before we can reopen?
Yeah, I can answer that. Maybe Director Williams might want to talk about that too. But yeah, we're going to expand the testing. What you're seeing a lot of mobile test sites that are starting to be closed down or not in use so much anymore is because the volume's not there. People are just not getting tested. We're going to open the criteria up somewhat next week. I think the director will be doing that. And we're going to be testing a lot more people for multiple reasons around the state to get a better idea where this state is with this. But I don't think I'd read too much into a mobile site maybe shutting down, because we're going to need that somewhere else. Because, for example, I think we continue to put mobile sites in the St. Louis area. So we're going to continue to do that. But the tests are going to expand.
All right, thank you, Governor. This question is from Matt, KMBC. When do you practically see players returning to the field and then fans to the stands at Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead?
Well, I'd like to see a lot more families out there doing a lot of things across the state of Missouri as families and doing outdoors and being together. On the sports side of it, this is a sports state. I've said that before. When you look at the teams we got across the state, whether it's soccer, whether it's golf, baseball, football, hockey, you can about go down the list. Missouri's a huge sports state. But, it's going to take its course. I do believe we're going to see major league sports before this year is over. But I believe there'll be a lot of decisions to be made in that process. And I also think there'll be changes.